What I want to try and understand is these protests that are taking place. You know, you're talking about street protests, lawyers are marching. Could this be Tamil Nadu's answer in a way to what we are seeing in the United States? Your George Floyd movement, where we saw Black Lives Matter, is this the people of Tamil Nadu saying enough is enough? Do you believe that you can sustain a movement which will eventually lead to police reforms, which will lead to justice for these families?
It should be sustained because it's about people. It's about us. It's about you, sir, me, and the rest of India. And it's contagious. It's equally contagious as COVID, this apathy towards people. And we should not allow it.
But you know, there are questions whether it will lead to a larger movement. I know that we saw traces of it during Jallikattu in Tamil Nadu a few years ago, people coming out in thousands. Now in Corona times, of course, much more difficult for people to come, but it is an election year. Do you see this now becoming a major political issue? Will this be seen through the prism of politics, the custodial deaths?
Well, shame on the people if they don't move now. I'm trying to insinuate them into seeking justice because these are important moments. These are watershed moments in our history, in our political history. Political history does not just comprise of two parties tugging afar. No, this also involves people, and this should become a people's movement, and we are willing to join whatever position they give us in the agitation, because it must become a people's movement. It's equally or even more important than the Jallikattu protest. It is directly connected to human rights and the political atmosphere and how law should behave.
You know, the concern, of course, and this may be a cynical view, is that once the camera lights are switched off, people will move on to other issues. I know this is an election year, but will these become the election issues? Will something like custodial deaths or the overreach of the police force at times become election issues? Or will we once again go back to money, power, caste-based alliances as we have seen in the past in Tamil Nadu?
This is a great opportunity presented to the people of Tamil Nadu. Instead of sitting back, leaning on the armchairs and commenting that everything is corrupt, here's an opportunity to people to voice their will. And they should voice their will, and this is an opportunity.
What if...
And they will use it.
What is your role going to be, Kamal Haasan, in the next few months? Do you also plan to hit the streets, take up these issues, hold public protests over Tuticorin? Can we expect, are you going to make this your sort of rallying cry as a new political party?
See, street movements are one thing, but in COVID times, they know it. So they're smirking, thinking that people won't come out. And it's a sort of a strategic check and mate on the people who cannot gather. And so it's going to be, worst case analysis, it's going to be a soapbox oratory and then it'll die. But I don't think so. Because we are not only thinking of just taking to the streets, but taking to the courts. We'll take it to the courts. And we still do believe in law of the land.
You know, you have mentioned also that you are now going to the courts. You're knocking the Madras High Court, possibly the Supreme Court. What are you looking for? Are you saying that you're looking for justice in this case, or do you believe the entire issue of police reform should now be placed before the courts?
We are very, very insistent that it should be a police reform, because there are all facilities that the Honorable Supreme Court has given us. The handle is neglected by successive government, both DMK and ADMK. And now is the time to use the opportunity given by the Supreme Court to implement a law which will stop these kind of custody deaths in future, at least. It is important that the two who died must get justice. They are my family. So I will seek for their justice as well. But on a larger perspective, I think we should look at reforms. Even the police, the honest ones, will all want that because they can breathe a sigh of relief and be honest in their profession.
Okay. Kamal Haasan, actor turned politician, appreciate your joining us, taking that strong stand on what's happened in Tuticorin. You are saying that you will now go to the courts to seek police reforms, to ask for police reforms to be back on the legislative table. Thanks very much.